Hello, this is Alyssa's father, and I have a personal story to tell. It's about my daughter and how the two of us managed to grow together through the bond of toys. It's a tale about a little girl, her high-functioning autism, her dad, and how toys brought us closer together, and how they helped her talk and better communicate through the underused and underutilized gift of human imagination. When my daughter was 2 years old, my wife and I would observe our daughter close herself off to the world. She'd sit off by herself at parties and other social gatherings, counting rocks and putting them in a line, not wanting to communicate with anyone. Soon afterward, she was diagnosed with high-functioning autism. As a father, still understanding how to be a father, I struggled to find a bond with her that would help her to grow. How could I find a way as her parent to break through and build our bond? How could I help her find ways to communicate and grow? One of the first activities my wife and I were taught was to work with her by constructively interacting with Alyssa just to get her to make prolonged eye contact, which she was failing to do most of the time. Yet, what else could we use to help bond us together? Myself, an overwhelmed father, and her, a daughter with high-functioning autism. We both needed something that we both enjoyed and appreciated. It would need to be a tool that would be an imagination gateway that we could use together and hence communicate together. I found this magic tool in my very own and personal toy collection. I shared my old childhood toys with her. We played and dreamed together. It was a glue that got us to identify with one another. You see, imagination was the key, and toys were the outlet. We were using toys in our collective imaginations to expand beyond the autism spectrum. We were applying our creative minds to our advantage. Playing with those toys brought me closer to my daughter in ways that I couldn't figure out how to do before. The important part was to recognize, embrace, and acknowledge the importance of play as a child's funnel through which learning and communication is achievable. There is simply different and diverse types of learners out there, especially on the autism spectrum, and my daughter was one of them. Heck, I'm also one of them. There are various and multiple learning styles for those on the autism spectrum, and I, as her father, was using creativity to find my own way to getting through to Alyssa. Perhaps it just took expanding her imagination through playing with toys that helped her gain greater communication skills. She used to not even give people eye contact. Now, a year later, she is through engagement and play. And playing with toys together with her helped, among many other things, bridge that gap. Perhaps she was a visual learner just like me. Many with autism are far more visual thinkers than analytical thinkers. They think in pictures while others think in words. Toys are playful visuals that help trigger ways for someone with autism to communicate and express themselves. Their imagination is expanded, and therefore they can find an outlet to express themselves. They are not to be discouraged in this area. There is nothing wrong with using toys. Rather, there is everything right with using toys, imagination, and play to make a connection with a child with high-functioning autism. After all, it was toys that specifically helped one little girl with high-functioning autism build a greater bond with her father. Fantasy toys were used as a gateway. It bridged the gap. Together, we learned how to use toys help children with learning disabilities or high-functioning autism who have difficulty communicating as a form of self-expression through their imagination. Toys allow for unique bonding exercises and experiences between parents and children. My daughter and I collectively learned how to play, express ourselves, interact, socialize, and have fun together. That was another key ingredient, to make socializing with her fun in order to help her grow. Gradually, we each found ways to grow in our own ways, at our own time. For me as a father, and for her as my daughter, and as a little young lady. As for me, I had to let my guard down. I stopped being an adult for a while. I played at her level and with my inner child's mindset. I wanted to make sense of my daughter's autism diagnosis and how to make an emotional connection within her. During her early years, I kept looking for a way for my daughter to communicate and express herself. As parents, we were confused why she wasn't talking and why she was developmentally delayed for her age. Then came her high-functioning autism diagnosis. Our therapy with her was to find a bridge to connect my daughter and us together. For me, using toys turned out to be the way. It was a bonding mechanism that linked us together through play, laughter, fantasy, and fun. Our imaginations helped unlock what was keeping us apart. Slowly and gradually, she opened up. Playing with toys and using our imaginations were creative outlets for both of us in a form of collective self-expression and in some ways, catharsis. The toys connected us together and we managed to bond in a way that otherwise wouldn't have been as easily possible. So, was it using toys as a creative outlet for the imagination the key to getting her to start opening up more? Was my joining in and playing together at her level with her how we managed to bond better? Quite possibly. I believe that they helped get each of us engaged more than other ways of learning. Even displaying these words visually gives them more weight in a visual thinking brain. It's all about different types of learners.